It's the Greenville Flyboys taking on the Danville Otterbots. So happy you're with us here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. We had some rain in the area earlier, but luckily it seems to have subsided. There are blue skies, and there is sunshine on the field, and we should be set for a great Thursday evening of baseball. The Flyboys entering this game 16-11 on the season. Greenville, mentioned, leading Kingsport by a game and a half in the Appy League West. Elizabethton is still 2 games back. Johnson City, 3.5 back. And the Bristol State Liners, losers of now 8 in a row, are 6 games back of first place. The Flyboys are managed by Jack Wilson, and tonight's lineup looks like this. Micah Jordan will lead off. He's in center field for Greenville. Brady Francisco is the catcher, batting second. Ezra McNaughton is the designated hitter. He bats third. Cameron Kim at shortstop is the cleanup hitter. Tyler Inge at third base, batting fifth. Dylan Jackson is at first, batting sixth. Grant Hunter in left field, batting seventh. TJ Adams is in right field, batting eighth. And Peyton Miller rounds out the Flyboys order. He is at second base. The Danville Otterbots are managed by Mickey Tettleton in his second season, much like Jack Wilson is with the Flyboys, and Mickey Tettleton will set his lineup like this for the Otterbots. Elgin Bennett is in center field, leading off. Jackson Goldberg is at third base, batting second. Garrett Shull is at first base. He bats third. The cleanup hitter is Bruce Weish. He's in left field. Khalil Pratt is in right field, batting fifth. Seth Smith, the shortstop, bats sixth. Gavin Brewer is the designated hitter. He bats seventh. Charlie Carter, the catcher, bats eighth. And rounding things out for the home nine, it's Mason Pangborn at second base. We got a pair of lefties on the mound here in Danville tonight. It's Matthew Spada going for the Otterbots. Spada out of Boston College so far this season. He's worked around a lot of base runners, allowing just 6 earned runs in 20 innings. But he's allowed 20 hits and 15 walks while striking out 19. And if you think back a couple of days when the Flyboys beat Elizabethton 17-9, Greenville took advantage of 3 separate big innings, scoring 3 runs in the 8th, 4 in the 6th, and 6 in the 4th to make Elizabethton's comeback insurmountable. The Flyboys will counter with Freddie Baravitas. Baravitas is committed to the University of Pittsburgh. He was supposed to pitch last night, but that game was washed out, so his outing pushed to today. Baravitas has allowed just 2 runs in 9 2/3 innings. 9 hits, 7 walks, and 14 strikeouts. The Flyboys have leaned on him in some high leverage spots out of the bullpen as well. We'll see if he can provide some length on the mound as a starter here tonight. We've got sun and clear skies here this evening in Danville as Micah Jordan steps to the plate for the Flyboys. The lefty Matthew Spada is ready. These are 2 ACC guys facing each other. Spada, the southpaw, out of Boston College, and Micah Jordan out of Virginia Tech. First pitch on the way is swung on and missed, and we are underway from Danville. First pitch, 1 minute past the top of the hour. All told, it's shaped up to be a very pleasant evening weather-wise here in Southern Virginia. Jordan takes a strike, and it's 0-2. Game time temperature here in Danville tonight, 80 degrees, which is one of the cooler games we've had, at least at first pitch, so far this season. Spada from the stretch. The 0-2 is swung on and missed, and Micah Jordan is gone on 3 pitches. Micah Jordan, one of the returning Flyboys players who I'm sure has a less than fond memory of what happened the last time the Flyboys played on this field, as Danville locked up the Appy League Championship, defeating the Flyboys 11-5 in that game. Here's Brady Francisco digging in for the first time. He takes outside from the lefty Matthew Spada. Francisco, in the Flyboys' last game, batted cleanup and did well for himself, picking up an RBI double late in that contest. Here's the 1-0. Missing high is Spada that time. But that was a game where Danville jumped out to an early lead, and it was a sizable advantage, leading 7-1 after 2 innings, 11-1 after 5, and from there, it was on ice for the Otterbots as they picked up their first Appy League title since the league was reconfigured. Francisco swings and misses at an off-speed pitch, and it's 2-1. The lefty Matthew Spada has faced the Flyboys already this season, albeit it was in a relief role. He worked a scoreless inning, allowing a hit, but nobody crossed home plate. That was back on June 7th, as Francisco takes low and away, and it's 3-1. Gave you the Flyboys lineup at the top, but it's Jordan leading off, followed by Francisco, who's in the box now. Ezra McNaughton, the designated hitter, is on deck for Greenville. Cameron Kim, the shortstop, is the cleanup man. 3-1 to Francisco is fouled away toward the first base side. Tyler Inge, the third baseman, bats fifth here tonight. Dylan Jackson at first base bats sixth. Grant Hunter in left field bats seventh. His other corner outfield man, TJ Adams, bats eighth. He's in right field. And Peyton Miller at second base bats ninth. 3-2 on Francisco. Popped foul behind home plate. Foul territory here at American Legion Field is very unique. There is a lot of space behind home plate. I did not measure it, but if I had to estimate, I would say it's probably about 30, 40 feet to the backstop at least. So any pitch that gets away from the catcher is trouble. 3-2. Francisco takes in the dirt, and it's a one-out walk for the Flyboys here in the top of the first. Ezra McNaughton digs in, left on left. One of the premier bats in the Appy League in the first half of the season. We'll see what he can do in the back half, just a couple games into the second half of the season. But McNaughton in the top 5 in the league in OPS, 1273 entering tonight. He's flirted with 1,400 at times in the last few weeks. McNaughton takes a high strike from Matthew Spada. Spada so far this season for Danville, we mentioned at the top that he's had to work around a lot of base runners, but in 20 innings, he's posted an ERA of 2.7. Francisco off of first. The pitch to McNaughton is a called strike. At the knees on the outside part of the plate, and it's 0-2 on the slugger out of Brigham Young University. Spada, 20 hits, 15 walks, and a pair of hit-by pitches, but only 6 earned so far. Here's the 0-2 to McNaughton. A breaking ball hits softly up the middle, might be 2. Pangborn to second for 1, on to first. It's a 4-6-3 double play as McNaughton is retired, and the Flyboys go quietly in the first inning as Spada rolls up the twin killing to work around the one-out walk after a half. Greenville nothing, Danville coming to bat here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to American Legion Field in Danville, Virginia. Flyboys and Otterbots scoreless after a half in this rematch of last year's championship game. In the room where it happened, although it's not quite a room so much as a baseball field, but I wanted to sneak a Hamilton reference in there, so I did. Freddie Benavides gets the ball for Greenville here this evening. Benavides making his 3rd start of the season for the Flyboys. He's been good on the mound, albeit a small sample size. 9 2/3, just 2 earned runs allowed for him. He'll face Elgin Bennett, Jackson Goldberg, and Garrett Shull at the top of this Danville order. The Otterbots have 4 lefties and a switch hitter in this lineup. So Benavides will have to mix his arsenal accordingly. Left-handed batter Bennett stepping in. The wind and the pitch from Benavides, fouled back. Got some shadows creeping in from the left field corner, and there's also a shadow behind home plate. Brady Francisco, the Flyboys catcher, is set up right where the shade meets the sun. The 0-1 to Bennett misses high. Tyler Inge is at third base for Greenville here this evening. Cameron Kim is the shortstop. Peyton Miller at second, and Dylan Jackson at first. 1-1. A breaking ball that floats to the top of the zone for strike 2. Bennett out of Cal State Bakersfield, a native of Atlanta, his home city, hosting the All-Star game next week. 1-2 is shot foul above the Flyboys' third base dugout. Grant Hunter is in left, Micah Jordan in center, and TJ Adams is in right. The outfield dimensions here in Danville appear very hitter-friendly, or pitcher-friendly, I should say. 1-2 to Bennett, misses high. 2-2 on the Otterbots leadoff man. I say pitcher friendly not because of the distance, but because of the height of the outfield walls. Here's the 2-2. Bennett hits a grounder towards first on a high hop. Jackson Fields. Foot race to the bag is won by the Flyboys first baseman. Bennett is retired. One away, bottom of the first. 0-0 game. The batter is Jackson Goldberg, the Otterbots third baseman. And I want to take a look and see how many home runs Danville has hit here at American Legion Field. The answer is just 3, which is the second fewest of any team at home, and that tracks. It's 330 feet to the corners here. First pitch fouled away toward the first base side by the right-handed batter, Jackson Goldberg. 330 to the corners, 400 in center. And just by eyeballing it, the height of the outfield wall is about 15 or 20 feet. It's uniform all the way around. 0-1 from Benavides, misses outside to Goldberg. But it is a park where, save for the cutout for the scoreboard and straightaway left, you've really got to put a charge into it to hit it out of here. Here's the 1-1 to Goldberg. Swing and a miss as he fans on a fastball from Benavides. Benavides will run it up on you from the left side. We've seen him touch 95 miles per hour a couple times. He'll hover in the low 90s, though. That fastball was at 92. Here's the 1-2. Goldberg takes upstairs. The lights are on already here in Danville, but we've still got a little bit until the sun sets. A very pleasant evening, which the Flyboys will take because they've had to deal with so much rain. It's got to be a record of some kind. Here's the 2-2. Goldberg swings and misses at a good slider from Benavides. First strikeout of the game for the Flyboys lefty. Here's Garrett Shull now, switch hitter batting right. Shull out of Oklahoma State. We've seen a few guys from Oklahoma State between these two teams. Kyle Boddy spent a couple years there, though he just committed to San Diego. Brock Thompson, the Flyboys infielder. Jake Kennedy, a pitcher out of Oklahoma State as well, pitching for Greenville. Shull takes a breaking ball for a strike. Saw some of them catching up in the seats in front of the press box before the game. Seemed to be a very friendly conversation. 0-1 to Shull, misses low and in. Shull got plenty of experience at Oklahoma State in his maiden season. Played in 37 games. 1-1, Benavides fires. Shull takes a breaking ball on the inside corner. Strike 2. And there was an Instagram post that Oklahoma State put out before the season taking indoor batting practice. It was a close-up of Garrett Shull's forearms, and the post went viral as the 1-2 was fouled back. Because you could see with the force and the torque that Shull was putting on his bat, you could see it flexing. That made waves around the college baseball world in mid-February. Another 1-2 from Benavides. A fastball right on the outside corner. It's strike 3. Home plate umpire Cade Williamson punched him out. That's a perfect pitcher's pitch from Benavides. A 1-2-3 bottom of the first for the Flyboys lefty, and on to the second we go. The scoreless between Greenville and Danville on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to American Legion Field in Danville, Virginia. Greenville and Danville scoreless as we go to the top of inning number 2. Matthew Spada rolled up a double play to work around a one-out walk, so he'll face 4, 5, and 6 in the Flyboys order here as we begin inning number 2. Cameron Kim, followed by Tyler Inge and Dylan Jackson. 3 right-handed batters. The Flyboys only have 1 lefty in the lineup this evening. Cameron Kim hits a line drive towards right center field. Converging are Bennett and Pratt, and nearly colliding were the 2. But it's the Danville center fielder, Elgin Bennett, who makes the catch deep in the gap. And that's the first out here in the top of the second. Cameron Kim hit it well, but it hung up just enough. So here's Tyler Inge now. for the Flyboys. Inge digging in. He'll patrol third base this evening. Ezra McNaughton is the lone lefty in the Greenville order. Here's the pitch from Spada. Missing low and in to Inge. And we've seen Greenville, with the arrival of Brock Thompson, be able to alternate lefties and righties for the first 5 or 6 spots in the order. Here's the 1-0. Inge takes a strike on the low outside corner. But with the southpaw Spada on the mound, Jack Wilson opting for a heavy dose of right-handed hitters. Spada always goes from the stretch. Here's the 1-1. Inge hits a high pop-up on the infield. Mason Pangborn, the second baseman, barely has to move. He makes the catch a couple steps onto the outfield grass, and that's out number 2. 2 quick outs in the top of the second. Here's Dylan Jackson now. Jackson a couple nights ago in Elizabethton, 2 for 5 with 3 runs scored. His first at-bat, he hit a double off the top of the wall in left field in Elizabethton. It's a very deep left field corner there. Nearly 340 feet to the pole. He takes low and outside for ball 1. Feels like in most other parks in the Appy League, that's probably a home run, but not in the one where it mattered. Here's the 1-0. Jackson takes a breaking ball high from Spada. There is no baseball savant page for the Appy League, unfortunately. If there was, you could see which ballparks that fly ball would have been a home run in and which ones it would not have been a home run in. Here's the 2-0. Jackson swings and misses at an outside fastball. I think he was trying for his second homer of the season right there. There was also a Twitter bot for a while called Would It Dong, which would tell you on deep fly balls whether or not the pitch would go out of the yard in certain parks. Jackson takes low and away, and it's ball 3. I don't know if that bot is still active, but I know it used to generate some buzz. For example, whenever someone playing at Wrigley Field would hit a home run into the basket. 3-1. Jackson takes up and away, ball 4. A 2-out walk issued by Matthew Spada. Mentioned Spada's trouble with base runners so far this season. A lot of hits, a lot of walks. But for the most part, he's been able to manage. Here's Grant Hunter stepping in. Hunter transferring to Binghamton University in the fall. He takes low and outside. Dylan Jackson aboard at first. Not a big threat to steal. He didn't have a stolen base nearly for the first month of the season, but he's 3 for 3. See if maybe he's aggressive here. I doubt it, though, with the lefty on the mound. Hunter takes away. That's ball 2. Hunter, so far this year, the batting average just .234 for him, but his on base over 200 points higher at .438. Spada is set. Here's the 2-0. Hunter takes a strike. Fastball at the lower part of the zone from Matthew Spada. One basket home run at Wrigley Field that I remember particularly fondly. Snap throw to first, skips in on a bounce, and Jackson dives back in. Was when Javier Baez hit a home run in the 2016 NLDS against San Francisco off of Johnny Cueto. That was in the first game of that series. Here's the 2-1. Hunter fouls it back. Matt Vasgersian had an amazing call of that homer. The home run was hit a mile high, but the thing about that night was that the wind at Wrigley Field was blowing straight in. So Baez, on a different day, might have hit it onto Waveland Avenue, but instead it ended up in the basket in the left field well. Cubs won the game 1-0. 2-2. Hunter swings and misses at a changeup. That's strike 3. Flyboys strand the 2-out walk after an inning and a half. All zeros between Greenville and Danville on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Bottom of the second here between the Danville Otterbots and the Greenville Flyboys. We are scoreless so far. Nick Rodecap with you here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Freddie Benavides struck out a pair in a 1-2-3 first inning. We'll see what he can do in the second, facing Bruce Weish, Khalil Pratt, and Seth Smith. A righty followed by a pair of lefties against the southpaw. Flyboys here in Danville for 2 games, tonight and tomorrow. First pitch to Weish, line the other way, sinking toward the foul line. TJ Adams will not get there, but it doesn't matter because the ball drops foul. Probably by about a foot or 2. The Flyboys swept Danville when these teams met on opening weekend in Greenville. But back here at American Legion Field for the first time since last year's championship game. Mentioned Micah Jordan, one of the returners from last year's team in Greenville. The 0-1. Weish is late on a fastball and it's 0-2. Tyler Inge, another one, who was in Greenville last season. Benavides works quickly. The 0-2 misses in the dirt. Talked about the deep backstop here at American Legion Field. Other than that, foul territory is pretty close quarters. It closes in very quickly as you get from home plate to the outfield. Here's the 1-2 to Weish. Fastball that sails off the backstop, and there's very little padding back there, as you can probably hear. So Brady Francisco, the Flyboys catcher, and Charlie Carter, the Danville catcher, will be very busy. I'm sure that will impact how pitchers attack with runners on base. 2-2 is fouled off to the right side. Both pitchers probably with fewer off-speed pitches in the dirt with men on base. Can't go for the chase as aggressively. Here's another 2-2 to Weish. Swung on, hit to the left side. Kim fields from shortstop, and he throws out Weish. Leadoff man gone here in the bottom of the second, scored 6-3. Here's Khalil Pratt now. Danville had a game to forget yesterday in Burlington. The Otterbots faced the Sock Puppets. That game began at 11 a.m. It was Burlington's education day, so you'll have a lot of younger kids out at that game. And Burlington defeated Danville 11-1 in 7 innings. Benavides misses inside with a breaking ball. Danville was held to just 2 hits against the Sock Puppets, and don't get it twisted, Burlington's pitching staff is very good. 1-0 on the ground weakly to the left side. Inge, a quick running throw, retires Pratt. Couple soft ground balls here to start the second. Now base is empty, 2 gone here in the bottom of inning number 2 for Seth Smith. Smith mentioned one of 4 lefties in this Danville order out of Southern Miss. First pitch from Benavides is a breaking ball that misses low and away. But Danville last night losing 11-1 in 7 innings. Just 2 hits, 12 strikeouts for them as a team. 1-0 is a strike on the inside corner. Benavides with the fastball there, evening the count. Burlington scored 4 runs in the first inning of that game. The 1-1 is fouled off at home plate. Flyboys and Danville scoreless here in the bottom of the second. Base is empty, 2 gone. Benavides has retired the first 5 in a row. And it's interesting to see how much, here's the 1-2. Smith swings and misses, and we'll have to leave it there. Chased a high breaking ball to retire the side. The 3rd strikeout in 2 innings for Freddie Benavides. And on we go to the top of the 3rd. Both pitchers off to good starts. We are scoreless here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Top of the 3rd here from Danville. Flyboys and the Otterbots scoreless through 2. TJ Adams swings and misses at a high fastball from Matthew Spada. Just 2 base runners for the Flyboys. Both of them walks issued by Spada. Freddie Benavides, the Flyboys lefty, has retired the first 6 in a row. TJ Adams takes outside, and it's 1-1. on the Flyboys right fielder out of Arizona. 8-9-1 in the Greenville order due up here as the Flyboys look to break through and take an early lead. Here's the 1-1. Adams takes low and in. Spada missing with the fastball there. I was talking before the last half inning ended about how Danville last season was dominant in the Appy League. Here's the 2-1. Adams takes in the dirt once again. The Otterbots, as far as offense goes, they were in the upper echelon of the Appy League, but where they really shined was on the mound. Danville had an ERA just over 4 as a team. Here's the 3-1. Adams hits a chopper past third, foul. Danville also was the only team with a whip under 1.5. And they had the best strikeout rate in the league. Over twice as many strikeouts as the Otterbots had walks. That was really where Danville made its money last season. Greenville and Danville were both very evenly matched. The Flyboys had a slightly better offense last year. 3-2 to Adams, misses in the dirt. A good leadoff plate appearance there for Adams as he works the walk. Spada's third here with nobody away in the third inning. Greenville still looking for its first hit, but we'll see if Peyton Miller can at least move TJ Adams into scoring position here. Spada back on the rubber. Adams has a short lead at first. Here's the pitch. Miller hits a line drive foul past first base. Caught it off the end of his bat. But Danville won 31 games last season. The Otterbots won the division by 5 games over Burlington, and then defeated the Sock Puppets in the semis. The 0-1, a sharp line drive up the middle. That is through into center field. Adams had to wait on it. Now he'll hustle to second base. But the Flyboys have the game's first hit. Line drive single from Peyton Miller. Now 2 on, nobody away as the top of the order comes back up for the second time. Here's Micah Jordan. Now Jordan, in the Flyboys' last game at Elizabethton, did have a bunt single, one of 3 hits he had on the day. I wonder if maybe with the corner infielders back, he tries it here. First pitch from Spada. Jordan swings through a changeup. Good arm action, good fade on that changeup from Spada. A couple talented lefties facing each other here this evening. 0-1 on Micah Jordan. Struck out swinging his first time. Here's the pitch. Swinging a fly ball towards center field and shallow. Bennett coming in. Seth Smith, the shortstop, backpedaling. And he is the one who makes the catch to retire Jordan. So first and second, one away now for Brady Francisco. Francisco worked a walk his first time. 1 free pass in every inning allowed by Matthew Spada. But he's done what he's shown the ability to do all season, which is work around traffic on the bases. Here's the pitch to Francisco. In the dirt, blocked by Charlie Carter. And that's something that both base runners here, Miller at first and Adams at second, will have to be mindful of. With this deep backstop, anything that gets by Carter, you're more than likely going to be able to advance. Spada sets, letter high. Here's the 1-0. Francisco wraps it foul past third. Jack Wilson is coaching third base tonight for the Flyboys. Tyke Redmond over there at first base. Shadows continuing to creep across the outfield here in Danville. All of left field is in the shadows. Shallow center and deep center are also in the shade. But right where Elgin Bennett is standing, normal depth in center, is in the sun. Spada is set. Here's the 1-1. Francisco swings and misses at a changeup. Spada has been leaning on that off speed quite a bit in the early going. Nothing between the Flyboys and the Danville Otterbots here in the top of the third. Flyboys have first and second with one away. Spada looking for a big strikeout. Here's the pitch. Francisco swings through another changeup, that time in the dirt, and he's gone. Third strikeout recorded by Matthew Spada. Two of them on the changeup. Now first and second, two away. Ezra McNaughton stepping to the plate for the second time. McNaughton rolled into a double play back in the first inning. So, you know, he's looking to correct the record there. Corner outfielders are very deep. The right fielder, Khalil Pratt, is well off the line. McNaughton, the league's best power threat. Here's the pitch. McNaughton takes low. And I wouldn't be shocked for Matthew Spada here, the lefty on the mound, if he leans on that changeup again. Say if he steals a strike with a fastball. I don't know if McNaughton's going to see more than one in the zone. Here's the 1-0. Off-speed pitch hit on the ground, past first base and foul. That time it was the changeup from Spada, right in the middle of the plate, and he caught McNaughton out in front. McNaughton perhaps wanting that one back, but when you see that pitch headed toward the middle part of the strike zone as a hitter, you want to jump on it. But that change of pace just enough to keep him from putting the barrel on it. Spot is set. A look at second. Here's the 1-1. McNaughton takes low. Spada tried to double up there, but it's 2-1. A lot of fans in the stands using handheld fans to cool themselves off. White-colored, looks like paper or cardboard on a popsicle stick. Here's the 2-1. McNaughton hits a hard ground ball up the middle, but right to the shortstop, Seth Smith, who takes it the short way, retires Miller, and that ends the inning. Flyboys had first and second, nobody away, couldn't advance him. As we go to the bottom of the third, still 0-0 between Greenville and Danville on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Back here in Danville, scoreless between the Flyboys and the Danville Otterbots as we head to the bottom of inning number 3. Freddie Baravitas will face Gavin Brewer, Charlie Carter, and Mason Pangborn, 7, 8, 9 in the home squad order here. Brewer digging in. He's a Knoxville native, but plays his college ball in Cincinnati for the Bearcats. First pitch from Baravitas misses high. Brewer, just 1 for 12 on the season, joining the Otterbots as we approach the halfway point in the last couple of weeks. Baravitas drops a breaking ball in there, and it's 1-1. For the Flyboys, this is game 28 of 47. 1-1. Called strike on the low outside corner. Now game 28 was supposed to be played last night, but the Flyboys were rained out at Elizabethton. 1-2. Brewer takes low and away. Baravitas missing with the fastball. 3 strikeouts through 2 innings for Freddie Baravitas already. 2 of them on the slider, also relying on the ground ball. 2-2. A swing and a miss. There's another breaking ball from the lefty, and Brewer's gone. And that's the thing, when Freddie Baravitas is on, he is really difficult to hit. He's attacking the strike zone, mixing in his off-speed pitch as well. And that low to mid-90s from the left side has proven tough for hitters so far in this Appy League season. Charlie Carter steps in, brushed off the plate by a fastball there. Carter, a right-handed batter. Mentioned many Oklahoma State guys meeting up here in Danville between the Flyboys and the Otterbots. 1-0. Carter takes high. Another heater there from Baravitas. But Danville as a team, the offense has really been hard to come by this season. Talked about how last year the Otterbots had one of the top 3 offenses in the league. Carter takes a breaking ball low, and it's 3-0. This year, the Otterbots hitting just .211 as a team, scoring less than 4.5 runs per game. Both of those marks are league worsts. Carter takes an outside strike, and it's 3-1. Benavides looking to battle back. Here's the 3-1. Carter hits it off the end of the bat to straightaway right. TJ Adams steps back a couple and makes the catch. 2 gone here in the bottom of the third. Scoreless between Danville and Greenville. The batter is Mason Pangborn. Pangborn has struggled at the plate so far this season. Tonight, Pangborn playing in his 25th game for Danville this year. First pitch, lefty takes up and away. Pangborn just hitting .115 on the season. And certainly not getting any easier for him facing Freddie Benavides. Here's the 1-0. He takes up and in. And the thing about Benavides as well is, as he steps off and grabs some rosin, for most of his starts, he's worked very quickly in between pitches. He doesn't give the hitter a lot of time to get comfortable. 2-0. Pangborn lines it towards right center field, and wouldn't you know, the guy who's hitting .118 is thinking about a double. Micah Jordan cuts it off, but the throw is well late. And it's a 2-out double for Mason Pangborn. His 10th hit in 79 at-bats this season. Man in scoring position for the Otterbots. That is their first base runner of the game. Here's Elgin Bennett now facing Benavides for the second time. And this is what you want if you're Danville. You've got to take advantage of situations like these. Facing a team as potent as Greenville is offensively. Benavides from the stretch. Bennett takes a strike. Fastball in the outer part of the plate. The Flyboys are one of the best hitting teams in the league, especially on the road. Their OPS on the road is .843. 0-1. Bennett takes in the dirt. So if you're Danville, obviously offense has been difficult. When you have a man in scoring position with the top of the order up, I know there are 2 outs, but you've got to find a way to make the Flyboys sweat. And if nothing else, if you're Bennett, you don't have to drive the run in, but if you can reach base, Danville can continue to run up the pitch count of Benavides. Here's the 1-1. Bennett takes a breaking ball outside. Calling balls and strikes tonight, it's Cade Williamson. And the last time he and Nate Grant is the field umpire, the last time the Flyboys had them as an umpiring crew, we saw an ejection. That was in Pulaski nearly 2 weeks ago. Bennett takes up and away, and it's ball 3 from Benavides. Pulaski manager Bill Kinneberg was ejected. If memory serves, it was by Nate Grant in the early innings of that one. I wouldn't mind some of those fireworks again tonight. Here's the 3-1. Bennett swings and misses at a high fastball, and it's 3-2. Benavides looking to work around the first base runner that he's allowed tonight. Bennett stepped out. Now he's back in. Southpaw Benavides looking for 3 scoreless. Here's the payoff. Bennett takes strike 3. Another fastball at the knees on the outside corner from Freddie Benavides. He's got 5 strikeouts through 3 scoreless innings. On to the middle frames we go. It's an early pitcher's duel. 0-0 between Greenville and Danville here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Back here in Danville, top of the 4th. We are scoreless. Lefty Matthew Spada will face Cameron Kim, Tyler Inge, and Dylan Jackson. Kim hits a line drive toward right field, but that is pretty much right at Khalil Pratt. Drifting just a couple steps towards the gap, and the Flyboys cleanup man is gone on 1 pitch. Here's Tyler Inge now. Spada working around 2 on, nobody out, facing the top 3 in the Flyboys order, getting out of trouble in the last inning. We'll see if Tyler Inge can start a Flyboys rally here as we begin the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Inge takes a strike. The Flyboys have not faced a lot of left-handed starters this season. They've faced now 6, including Spada. 0-1, hit in the air, foul behind the first base dugout. They have not fared well. Greenville tied for the second worst record in the league when facing a left-handed starter. 1-4. The only team that's been worse facing a southpaw is Bristol. The State Liners 1-6. Here's the 0-2. Inge takes outside. Now the catch there is also that Danville has the exact same record as Greenville when facing a lefty starter. 1-4. So something's got to give here tonight. 1-2 on Inge. Here's the pitch. Inge takes in the dirt. Spada tried the changeup there. But for Greenville, the Flyboys have been in a few of these pitchers' duels. The most recent was on Sunday at home against Bluefield. Here's the 2-2. Inge takes strike 3. Changeup found the low inside corner there. Spada punches out his 4th. Really leaning on that changeup, or on the curveball, I should say. And it's working well for him. Here's Grant Hunter now. Hunter, the Flyboys, or excuse me, Dylan Jackson, I should say. Grant Hunter is on deck. The scoreboard fooled me. Dylan Jackson digging in here. If he can reach, then Hunter would get a turn in this inning. Jackson takes low and outside from Spada. And I think if you're the Flyboys, the main focus right now, because obviously this is, at this point, a pitcher's duel, you're thinking about just trying to work lengthy plate appearances to get Spada's pitch count up. Jackson takes high, and it's ball 2. Any extra pitches you can spoil, you can foul off, just stay alive and make Spada work a little harder, because that means he's out of the game sooner. Here's the 2-0. Jackson takes low and away. That's ball 3. And if you're going to try to crack the code on Matthew Spada, it seems like letting him walk you might be a good place to start, because he is prone to that. 3-0. Jackson takes a strike. Fastball right down Main Street there. See if Spada can battle all the way back. Here's the 3-1. Jackson takes strike 2 right on the low inside corner at the knees. Not much you can do about that as a hitter. Jackson asks for time. Both middle infielders have their heels on the outfield grass. Smith at shortstop and Mason Pangborn at second. The corner infielders are back as well. Here's the 3-2. Jackson slashes it foul behind home plate, protecting the low outside part of the zone there. Flyboys and Otterbots tied at 0 here in the top of the 4th. Each team with just 1 hit, though the Flyboys have worked 3 walks. Here's the 3-2. Jackson gets jammed, pops it foul towards first base. This ball drifts out of play. There is no wind here in Danville. The flags out beyond left center field are dormant. Temperature a bit on the cooler side for this time of year, in the high 70s. Here's another payoff. Breaking ball, strike 3. That curveball ended up right in the middle of the plate, but Spada doing a great job there of just battling against Dylan Jackson. Jackson was ahead 3-0, but Spada comes back to punch him out. It's his second 1-2-3 inning of this game as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Greenville and Danville still scoreless on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to Danville, where the Flyboys and the Otterbots are tied at 0 as we begin the bottom of inning number 4. Freddie Baravitas has struck out 5 through 3 innings. Let's see what he's got in store for Greenville here in the home half of inning number 4. He'll face Jackson Goldberg, Garrett Schull, and Bruce Weish. 2, 3, 4 in the Danville order due up against the Flyboys Southpaw. Goldberg stepping in. Takes a breaking ball that misses high from Benavides. We saw Benavides finding himself in some 3-ball counts in that third inning. It was the first time he really flirted with trouble. The 1-0 misses upstairs. Benavides allowed a 2-out double to Mason Pangborn, but he struck out Elgin Bennett to get rid of the threat. Now behind 2-0 on Goldberg as the lefty winds. Goldberg hits it in the air to shallow left. Cameron Kim, the shortstop, drifting out there, and he makes the catch. That fastball on the inside part of the plate, jamming Goldberg there. Leadoff man gone in the bottom of the fourth, and the batter now is Garrett Shull. Otterbots in their home white uniforms here this evening. They've got Otterbots across the front in light blue. Some black accents in there as well. Shull hits a ground ball to short. Another chance for Cameron Kim. Up with it and across in time to retire the switch-hitting Garrett Shull. 2 quick outs in the bottom of the fourth, and here's Bruce Weish. Weish getting off to a good start. Small sample size, but entering tonight, he was 6 for 14 on the campaign. Benavides looking for his third 1-2-3 inning of this game. He's allowed just 1 base runner. Weish takes a strike. Fastball right down the middle. You can hear the cicadas coming to life here in Danville. The 0-1. Weish checks his swing. Appeal down to first. Nate Grant says he held up, and it's 1-1. I was thinking about the origin of the name Otterbots, and there were over 600 fan submissions when Danville was looking to name its team in early 2021. Here's the 1-1. Weish takes a breaking ball near his back foot. 2-1. But the Otterbots is the name that was chosen because, not because it was submitted particularly, but because the fans sought to highlight. 2-1 is hit in the air to straightaway right. TJ Adams coming in, makes the catch, and that's the fourth inning. Both pitchers have been very efficient so far in this one. The third 1-2-3 inning in 4 times of asking for Freddie Benavides. As we go to the fifth, Greenville and Danville still tied at 0 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to Danville, where the Otterbots and the Greenville Flyboys are tied at 0 as we begin the top of the fifth inning. Lefty Matthew Spada and his opposite number, Freddie Benavides, have been fantastic on the mound. Spada will face Grant Hunter, TJ Adams, and Peyton Miller. The bottom third of this Greenville order looking to break through against Spada. Dating back to his relief appearance on opening weekend, Spada has pitched 5 scoreless innings against the Flyboys, allowing just 2 hits. Here's Grant Hunter stepping in. First pitch, floats up and away from Spada. Spada's utilized a fastball in the mid to upper 80s. A couple different off-speed pitches. 1-0. Hunter takes low. Sinking fastball, a curveball, and a changeup for him here today. It's been curveball heavy through the first 4 innings. 2-0 on Grant Hunter. Spada looking to prevent any base runners for Greenville. Here's the pitch. Hunter swings and misses at a fastball. And it's 2-1 on him. A lot of right-handed batters in this Flyboys order. 8 of 9 against the lefty. Here's the 2-1. Hunter hits it a mile high towards left, but that is also well foul. Which is a shame because that ball was crushed into the trees. Unfortunately, it was probably about 50 feet foul. So it's 2-2. Hunter struck out swinging on an off-speed pitch last time. Wonder if Spada will try for the chase once again. He's set. And the pitch. Hunter hits it in the air towards left center field. This ball is well struck. Bennett deep in the gap makes the catch as Hunter is retired by the Danville center fielder. Leadoff man gone. Scoreless game in the top of the 5th. Here's TJ Adams. The last walk issued by Matthew Spada was to TJ Adams in the 3rd inning. Spada has now retired 7 in a row, dating back to the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch to Adams. Downstairs. Spada now up to 65 pitches as he works into the 5th. Both starters giving their teams good length in this game so far. Here's the 1-0. Adams takes low. So Danville's team name, the Otterbots, coming from the fans' desire to highlight STEM education and new industry in Southern Virginia. Here's the 2-0. Adams takes an outside strike. A pitcher-friendly call there given to Matthew Spada. Their colors, primary colors, are blue, black, and white as Adams takes upstairs for ball 3. There's also some orange in their team logo, and those colors are designed to highlight the role that Danville played in building the tobacco and textile industries. Adams takes low and outside. It's a 5-pitch walk. That snaps the streak of 7 straight retired by Spada. And here's Peyton Miller now. When you think about this part of the country, Southern Virginia, we are not at all far from North Carolina. Tobacco Road running through North Carolina, you think of Durham and Raleigh, Cary as well, the Triangle. Big players in the tobacco industry, so it makes sense that that would carry over to Danville as well. Miller stepping in, squares to bunt. It's down, but foul, wide of third base. Miller has the Flyboys' only hit in this game. It was a line drive single in the 3rd inning that put 2 on and nobody out for the top of the order. But Micah Jordan, Brady Francisco, and Ezra McNaughton were all retired in succession by Spada to get out of trouble. TJ Adams leading off of first base. He has good speed. Miller takes a second to collect himself. He'll step back in with an 0-1 count after the foul ball. Here's the pitch. Miller hits another line drive. This one is through into right center field for a base hit. He's 2 for 2. So Peyton Miller, who entered this game hitting just above the Mendoza line at 207, has Greenville's 2 hits. And 2 on, this time 1 out for the top of the Flyboys order as Micah Jordan digs in. The 3 men in the Flyboys order tonight, actually we'll go with the top 4, are a combined 0 for 7. Brady Francisco walked in the first, but that's it. See what Micah Jordan can do here, facing Spada for the 3rd time. Here's the pitch. Jordan squares to bunt, fouls it back slightly toward the first base side. I was wondering if Micah Jordan was going to try that last time, seeing if he could bunt for a hit with nobody out in men at first and second. With 1 away, base runners in the same positions, it's a little more risky because, yeah, then you'd have 2 in scoring position, but you'd also have 2 out. 0-1. Here's the pitch. Jordan swings and misses at a breaking ball there, and it's 0-2. So now the bunt is definitely off the table. That is one of Jordan's weak points at the plate, is that he chases a lot of pitches, both below and above the zone. Here's the 0-2. Jordan chases in the dirt. That's strike 3. Spada's 6th strikeout. He gets Jordan swinging for the 2nd time. First and second, 2 away for Brady Francisco now. Francisco with 9 RBIs on the season. Not your typical number 2 hitter. Batting average only at 200, but his on base, 500 on the nose, just past the halfway mark in this Appy League season. Miller at first, Adams at second. Flyboys looking to break the scoreless tie Here's the pitch. Francisco takes low and away. Spada now up to 75 pitches, which is a good thing for the Flyboys because it means that Danville will more than likely call on its bullpen soon. Don't know if Spada would come back out for the 6th. The Flyboys have tried that a couple times, and it has not gone well. Here's the 1-0. Off-speed pitch, misses high to Francisco. Greenville looking to extend its lead atop the Appy League West. Can do so with a win here in Danville tonight. Here's the 2-0. Francisco fouls it back. A very hittable pitch there from Spada. 84-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle, but Francisco just got under it. These are the spots where Greenville has been inconsistent this season. I'm not going to say that they've struggled because that's not true, but the Flyboys are sometimes prone to dry spells with men on base. Runners dancing off, they both run. The throw to third is not made, and I think they called a pitch clock violation on Brady Francisco. It would have been a successful double steal, but the home plate umpire, Cade Williamson, I think he called a pitch clock violation there. I'm not sure. He told the runners to return to their bases. So Adams stays at second, Miller stays at first. Francisco talking to Williamson, the umpire. And I think he did call a pitch clock violation there. So it's 2-2. Double steal is wiped off the board because of one of everyone's favorite rule changes. Spada now a pitch away from getting out of the inning. Here's the pitch. Francisco hits a weak grounder toward third. Goldberg steps on the bag, and that's the inning. Spada pumps his fist. 5 shutout innings for him. He's stranded 2 Flyboys base runners in 2 separate innings. We are halfway home, tied at 0 between Greenville and Danville on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Back here in Danville as we begin the bottom of the 5th inning. The Flyboys and the Otterbots still tied at 0. Freddie Baravitas on the hill for Greenville, looking to keep it that way. First pitch strike at the bottom of the zone to Khalil Pratt. Pratt digging in for the second time in this game. Baravitas will face 5, 6, and 7. Line drive foul past third. And it's quickly 0-2 on Pratt. The pitch, Pratt takes high. And a good job by Matthew Spada in the last half inning. Working around 2 more Flyboys base runners. 1-2. Pratt takes just low. Baravitas missing with the heater. He started strutting off the mound thinking it was strike 3. But he'll have to try the 2-2. A check swing on a pitch in the dirt. He did not go around. That's ball 3. Pratt will be followed by Seth Smith and Gavin Brewer in this half inning. Baravitas ready, and here's the full count pitch. Pratt lines it foul to the right side, out of play. We're talking in the last half inning about how Danville's team name came from a combination of the fans looking to highlight the community's strong science, technology, engineering, and math heritage. 3-2. Pratt takes high. It's a leadoff walk from Baravitas. That is just the second base runner allowed in this game by Freddie Baravitas. The other being a double from Mason Pangborn in the third. So now Baravitas will face Seth Smith. Tied at 0, Greenville and Danville here in the bottom of the 5th on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Smith digging in from the left side. Here's the pitch. Fastball that misses outside. Pitch counts for both starters climbing. Spada well over 70, and Freddie Baravitas on the mound for the Flyboys, now at 63. Here's the 1-0. Smith takes a breaking ball downstairs. Now if you're the Flyboys, you start to think about maybe giving Baravitas at least some time on the mound. See some players milling around in the bullpen. From where we sit, it's hard to tell, but I don't think anybody's throwing. Here's the 2-0. Smith checks his swing on a high fastball, but he held up, so it's 3-0 on Smith now. And this is a tough spot in this game now for Baravitas. The leadoff walk, a 3-0 count to Seth Smith. This is the bottom part of this Danville order. Here's the 3-0. An off-speed pitch, or a fastball there on the inside part of the plate. Fastball had some funky vertical break on it, but it's 3-1. Pratt leading off of first. A short lead with the lefty on the hill. 3-1. Smith hits it in the air pretty well to straightaway left. Hunter going back and toward the corner makes a running catch, stopping just shy of the foul pole as Pratt retreats to first. So a deep fly out for Seth Smith, and now here's Gavin Brewer. Hunter took an interesting route to that one. He went straight back and then toward the corner, almost like a crescent moon shape, rather than a direct route, but he recorded the out nonetheless. I'm gonna bring Flyboys pitching coach Jared Morton out of the third base dugout to talk to Freddie Baravitas. The infield on the mound here as well, before Gavin Brewer steps to the plate. Baravitas looking to keep us tied at 0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Elsewhere around the Appy League, a lot more offense to go around. Bluefield up 14-5 on Johnson City at the end of the 4th inning. Elizabethton and Kingsport tied at 2 as they go to the 5th. Tri-State leading Pulaski 9-3 in the top of the 4th. Bristol trailing Burlington 4-2. The Stateliners looking to avoid dropping their 9th game in a row. Bluefield and Johnson City will play a doubleheader tonight. So the Doughboys will have to shake off the crooked number quickly. Mound meeting still going. Home plate umpire Cade Williamson has joined the party. And now Baravitas is touching gloves with his teammates. He's ready to go after Gavin Brewer here. Brewer is the Otterbots' designated hitter tonight. Struck out swinging. One of 5 strikeout victims for Baravitas through 4 1/3. Pratt leading off of first. The Flyboys are set up to turn a double play here. Brewer is a catcher by trade. The pitch, he takes low. Fastball near the dirt there from the Flyboys lefty. Baravitas up to now 68 pitches, 37 of them for strikes, so just shy of a 50-50 split. Needing his best stuff here to get through 5 scoreless innings. Here's the 1-0. Brewer takes inside, it gets away, and we were talking about that deep backstop. Pratt will take second as Francisco has to head to a different zip code to retrieve that one. And now it's 2-0 on Gavin Brewer on what will probably be scored a pass ball, I would imagine, but I don't know. Looked like Francisco may have gotten crossed up there. His mitt was set up toward the outside part of the plate, and that fastball from Baravitas ended up inside to the right-handed hitter. Francisco had to reach across and down and could not glove that one. Now here's the 2-0. Brewer hits a soft ground ball to the right side. Charging is Jackson. The flip to Baravitas covering, and that's a well-executed defensive play there by the Flyboys. As Brewer is gone, score at 3-1. So after the pass ball and the ground out, Danville has the game's first run represented at third base for Charlie Carter. Carter, the Otterbots catcher here tonight, flew out his first time. The infielder's now at normal depth with 2 gone in the inning. Left on right, the pitch. Carter fouls it back. If the Otterbots are going to mount a late season rally, it's got to start here soon. Danville entering tonight 7.5 back, last place in the Appy League East. It would be a monumental task for the Otterbots to repeat as league champions. Short lead at third for Pratt. Here's the 0-1. Carter takes low. Francisco keeps it in front. 3 combined hits in this game. Danville has 1. It was a 2-out double in the 3rd inning from Mason Pangborn, who is in the hole right now. Or he is on deck, I should say. Pangborn on deck, Carter in the box, and then the top of the order waiting in the hole. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball, wrapped foul at home plate. Benavides left that slider in the middle part of the zone, but Carter was just out in front and rolled over it. And if you're Freddie Benavides here, you want to keep attacking the strike zone. Probably not with a hanging breaking ball, but staying around the plate, trusting your defense, and he's gotten a couple swinging strikeouts as well. Big pitch coming here on 1 and 2. Pratt leads off third, and Benavides delivers. Carter takes on the inside corner, strike 3. Fastball at 93 from Freddie Benavides, his 6th strikeout of the game. And he has matched Matthew Spada, both lefties, with 5 shutout innings here in Danville. On to the 6th, still scoreless on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Danville goes to its bullpen as we begin the 6th inning. We are scoreless here at the home of the Otterbots. Hosting the Flyboys in the first of a 2-game set, right-hander Jack Topolsky is on in relief of Matthew Spada. Ezra McNaughton digging in. It's a fly ball foul to the left side. Topolsky out of Eastern Michigan. 2 seasons in the MAC, he's got a 12.6 ERA in 15 2/3. 30 walks to 12 strikeouts, though he has pitched a scoreless inning for Danville this season. The 0-1. McNaughton takes a strike. Looks like a changeup there on the low outside corner, and Topolsky is quickly ahead 0-2. 3, 4, 5 of the Flyboys order due up here. It's McNaughton, followed by Cameron Kim and Tyler Inge. Topolsky shakes off a sign, and now the 0-2. McNaughton takes inside and low. Fastball missing near the shoe tops there from Topolsky. McNaughton stepping back in. Topolsky ready very quickly. The 1-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and McNaughton is gone. Slow curveball there from Topolsky at 72 miles per hour. And McNaughton is 0 for 3. So here's Cameron Kim now. Got a little bit unlucky last time. Hit it right at Khalil Pratt in right field. A line out and a fly out for the Flyboys shortstop. Here's the pitch from Topolsky. Kim takes a breaking ball in the dirt. 3 combined hits in this game, though the Flyboys have also worked 4 walks. Matthew Spada's final line, 5 scoreless innings, allowing 2 hits, striking out 6. Doing what he's shown the ability to do all season long, which is work around base runners. Here's the 1-0 to Cameron Kim. A hard ground ball back up the middle, and Kim has the Flyboys' 3rd hit here with 1 away in the top of the 6th inning. Man at first for Tyler Inge. The former Michigan Wolverine turned Oregon State infielder. This is where, if you're the Flyboys, this game turning into a low-scoring affair here, as we are almost done with the middle innings. You're thinking about maybe playing some small ball. Wonder if the Flyboys might try bunting. Pickoff move to first. Kim dives back in. Jack Wilson giving the signs at third base. Tyler Inge has good speed. You might think about maybe having him try to bunt for a hit. The third baseman, Goldberg, is well behind the bag. Here's the pitch. Inge takes up and in. Did not square. Cameron Kim also has decent speed at first base. So this is a situation where you could play some small ball, especially if Inge can get it down the third base line. Here's the 1-0. Inge takes low. Did not square around there either. A changeup from Topolsky. Now it's 2-0. You know Topolsky will probably deliver something over the plate here. Inge could swing away, maybe look at the right center field gap, or again, square to bunt. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball misses outside. So now Wilson telling Tyler Inge, hey, you can go ahead and swing away on 3-0. Kim off of first. Have not seen a stolen base attempted by either team in this game. 3-0 is outside. That's ball 4. So a couple one-out base runners allowed by Topolsky. Two on, one away for Dylan Jackson here. But before Jackson steps into the box, a mound meeting for Danville. Topolsky in some trouble. We are scoreless in the top of the 6th. Flyboys out hitting Danville 3-1. Steve Gomez, the pitching coach, out for a quick word with Topolsky, and I suspect they ain't talking about love out there. Important to note, Steve Gomez, the Danville pitching coach, is not the detective from Breaking Bad, the compatriot of Hank Schrader. Although I've never seen the two of them in the same room. Inge at first, Kim at second. RBI chance for Dylan Jackson now. Topolsky in a tough spot here. Trying to protect the shutout that Danville has going after 5 strong innings from its starter. Here's the pitch. Jackson takes a changeup at the knees for strike 1. With Jackson, a first baseman and a catcher running, I don't know that the sacrifice is on anymore. Not that it was ever on in the first place. Topolsky is set. And the pitch. Jackson takes low. Fastball missing at the shins. Topolsky working the bottom of the zone here. This is a tailor-made double play situation. The infield is shading the right-handed hitter to pull. The second baseman, Pangborn, keeping close tabs on Cameron Kim at second. Here's the 1-1 to Jackson. A breaking ball downstairs. That curveball at the shins. You can hear the fans voicing their frustrations as they always do, but neither of those 2 last pitches were particularly close to the knees. Probably about halfway between the dirt and the shins. Big pitch coming. Here's the 2-1. Jackson hits it in the air to left field. This ball is well struck. Weish going back at the wall, and he makes the catch in the shadow of the left field scoreboard. Both runners will advance. Dylan Jackson just missed a go-ahead 3-run homer. Both runners advance into scoring position. Cameron Kim to third and Tyler Inge to second. That ball 363 feet to straightaway left, which is unfortunate because the wall is about 365 feet away. So Topolsky catches a break there. But now second and third with 2 out of the top of the 6th for Grant Hunter, looking to break this scoreless tie. From the windup, here's the pitch. A breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike. There's that slow curve at 72 miles per hour. Topolsky ahead quickly. Here's the 0-1 to Hunter. The exact same pitch. That was a curveball right down the middle. Hunter electing not to swing. Now on 0-2, Topolsky can triple up. He can go to the fastball. He can do any number of different things here. Here's the 0-2. Fastball punch toward right field. This ball is down in front of Khalil Pratt. Kim scores. Here comes Tyler Inge. The throw is cut off, and Grant Hunter delivers a 2-run single, slapping the 0-2 fastball the other way, and the Flyboys lead 2-0 here in the top of the 6th. Great job there by Grant Hunter. After 2 quick strikes on the curveball, Topolsky tried to rush the fastball by him, but Hunter let it travel and hit it into straightaway right field, bringing home both Cameron Kim and Tyler Inge to give the Flyboys a 2-0 lead. TJ Adams takes low and away, throw behind the runner at first, and Hunter is safe. That is a great job there of situational hitting by Grant Hunter. And in a game like this, every run that you can get is huge. Here's the 1-0. A breaking ball on the outside corner. Zapolsky going back to the bread and butter there. And that was the thing with 2 breaking balls for strikes to Hunter. You doubted that he was going to throw the same pitch in the same spot 3 times. 1-1. A hanging breaking ball rolled over to third. Goldberg, a low throw across, dug out with a nice backhand stab by Garrett Shull. And that's the inning. But the Flyboys open the scoring here in the top of inning number 6. 2-0 on the RBI single from Grant Hunter. As we head to the home half, looks like Freddie Benavides is coming back out. Let's see if he can protect the lead here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys lead 2-0 after the RBI single from Grant Hunter. Freddie Benavides back on the mound, working into the 6th inning here for Greenville. Looking to open, stop 2 of 3 of this road trip with a win. Mason Pangborn, left-handed batter, checks his swing, but goes around on a pitch in the dirt, and it's strike 1. Pangborn has the only hit so far here tonight for Danville. Benavides, and time called at home plate. Pangborn was not yet making eye contact with the pitcher. Benavides had started his windup, but Cade Williamson, the home plate umpire, said, hold on a minute. Now both men are ready, and the 0-1. Pangborn takes a knee buckler for strike 2. Benavides brought out the slider there, and Pangborn was fooled. Now, if you're Benavides, you read the body language of the hitter, and maybe you go right back to it. Here it comes. Pangborn takes in the dirt. That time the lefty tried the wipeout slider, but Pangborn laid off. Floodlights taking effect here in the twilight hours at American Legion Field in Danville, Virginia. Patchy clouds, but I see a lot of blue. Here's the 1-2. Pangborn lines it foul past third. Fastball right down the middle, but he couldn't get around on it. Benavides now approaching 80 pitches. He's at 78 so far through 5+. Top of the order waiting on deck for the 3rd time. Here's the 1-2. Up and away. Benavides missing with the heater there. Grant Hunter, the big swing of the bat for the Flyboys in that 6th inning. Cameron Kim and Tyler Inge both reached with 1 away. Hunter drove him in with 2 gone. 2-2. Pangborn swings through the slider. That's strike 3. Pangborn recognized it on 0-2, but right there on 2-2, Benavides fooled him. So here's Elgin Bennett now. He is the Otterbots leadoff man, 0 for 2 so far against Benavides in this game. But we've talked about it over the last few games as the Flyboys starters have tried to stretch into the 6th. The advantage goes to the hitter at the 3rd time facing a starting pitcher. Slider from Benavides for strike 1. We've seen a lot of fastballs from him. Haven't seen a lot of sliders so far. The 0-1 line sharply down the left side, but foul. That ball had home run distance. A sharp liner from Bennett, but that was about 20 feet wide of the left field foul pole, and it's 0-2. See if Benavides tries to handcuff him after he went oppo on that last swing. The pitch. Swing and a foul tip at home plate. Francisco couldn't quite squeeze it. Benavides ramping it up to 93 miles per hour right there. Talked about it earlier, but he can reach back for a little extra when he needs it. He's a veteran of college baseball. Here's the 0-2. Bennett takes strike 3. Slider at the knees on the outside part of the plate. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 6th for Freddie Benavides. It's his 8th strikeout of the game. He has punched out the last 3 consecutive batters. Here's Jackson Goldberg now. Right-handed batting third baseman. playing for the Creighton Blue Jays in Omaha. First pitch is a fastball that misses high from Benavides. Creighton will play some of its home games at Charles Schwab Field, the home of the College World Series, throughout the regular season. Here's the 1-0. Goldberg takes a strike. There's that slider from Benavides. And how good is it as a pitcher when you have a pitch that you can keep in your back pocket until the third time through the order? That's what Benavides has done with the slide piece. 1-1 is a fastball, misses high. Benavides now up to 87 pitches, emptying the tank here as he tries to get through a 6th scoreless inning. A deep breath, and here's the 2-1. A tapper towards third, charging is Tyler Inge, throwing on the run, it's high. And Goldberg is safe at first base. That will bring the tying run to the plate in Garrett Shull. It was a tough play for Tyler Inge. Goldberg was hustling up the first base line. Not sure that there's much Inge could have done there. That'll be scored an infield hit for Goldberg. The second of the game for Danville. And now here's Garrett Shull, 0 for 2 tonight, facing Benavides. That is the first time any of the top 4 batters in the Danville order have reached against Benavides tonight. First pitch to Shull, a fastball right there for strike 1. Shull, a strikeout victim tonight. He's got 17 driven in, among the team leaders for Danville. Here's the 0-1. A swing and a sharp liner to center, but Micah Jordan makes the catch. He started in, realized, oh man, I've got to retreat, and did so in time to get Shull. How about Freddie Benavides? 6 scoreless innings, allowing just 2 hits. And as we go to the 7th, the Flyboys lead Danville 2-0 on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Back here in Danville, the Flyboys leading 2-0 as we begin the top of the 7th. It's Landon Lorson, the new right-hander, on for the Otterbots. Peyton Miller stepping in, taking up and in as the right-hander Lorson misses with the fastball. Lorson on for the 7th time this season. He's allowed 11 earned in 11 2/3 innings. 1-0 to Miller, a fastball on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Lorson, a native of the home of the Little League World Series, Williamsport, Pennsylvania, attends Bloomsburg University. Here's the 1-1. Miller pops a breaking ball foul towards first. Garrett Shull gives it a look, but runs out of room. Shull got a bit unlucky last inning, lining out to Micah Jordan to end the frame. Shull represented the tying run, and he hit one right at Micah Jordan. Initially, Jordan started in and then realized it was a bit over his head, backpedaled to make the catch, and give Freddie Benavides a very strong 6 innings. Miller takes inside and low. Lorson misses with the changeup. Miller has 2 of the Flyboys' 4 hits in the number 9 spot. But Benavides, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, and 8 strikeouts. Miller takes low again. That fastball, shin high, and it's 2-2. The top of the order waiting in the wings. Micah Jordan is on deck. The next 1-2, Miller swung on and laced down the left field line, but foul. So 3-2 on Miller. Jordan on deck is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Now he's hitting exactly .250 entering this game, so if you do the math, Micah Jordan is 100% guaranteed to get a hit this time up. Miller takes in the dirt, and Jordan will hit with a man on first. Miller has reached all 3 times. Seems like he's been swinging it better as of late. Jordan stepping to the dish. Flyboys leading 2-0 here in the top of inning number 7. Bluefield is up 16-5 on Johnson City. I know the Flyboys will appreciate that, considering Johnson City swept them last week. Miller off of first. Jordan waiting, right on right. Here's the pitch. A fastball at the knees for strike 1. Elizabethton and Kingsport tied at 2. Flyboys will be hoping neither team wins that game, because Kingsport is 2nd in the West and Elizabethton is 3rd. Those teams separated by half a game. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball chased, and Jordan is behind 0-2. He asked for time. Tri-State up 10-6 on Pulaski, bottom of the 5th at the home of the River Turtles. Burlington up 4-2 in the top of the 5th over Bristol. The Flyboys will take on the Sock Puppets this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Lorson working with Miller, the leadoff base runner at first. He goes from the stretch. Miller runs, the 0-2, swung on, chopped up the third base line. Tough play for Goldberg, throwing on the run, and Jordan is gone. But Peyton Miller, he took off on the pitch, and as the throw was made to first, Miller alertly hustled to third base. So that is a very productive first out, as Miller goes first to third on the ground out. That's a great defensive play by Jackson Goldberg. Micah Jordan has more speed than anybody else on the field for the Flyboys. And Goldberg made that classic do-or-die play. You field and throw in almost one motion, and he was able to get Jordan by a step. That play is so much harder than it looks. Man at third, one away for Brady Francisco. The infield is in. Lorson from the windup. Francisco chases a changeup downstairs. Strike one. And Lorson kills the spin rate on that changeup. That one at 790 RPMs. That's approaching knuckleball territory. Here's the 0-1. Francisco takes a perfectly located fastball right on the low inside corner, and he wants a moment to collect his thoughts. That insurance run at third is big for the Flyboys. Leading 2-0, Freddie Baravitas held Danville to just 2 hits, but you don't know what the bullpen holds here tonight. Here's the 0-2 to Francisco. Swung on, fouled away over the first base dugout. And again, with less than 2 outs here, the infield is in. So if you're Peyton Miller, you're thinking anything hit on the ground, got to give it a second to see if it gets through, or perhaps if an infielder has to range sideways to make the play. Another 0-2. Francisco strikes out swinging. They'll go to first to secure the out, and Carter makes an accurate throw. Changeup once again from Lorson. And with the spin rate on that pitch, I almost think it might be a splitter, a forkball, something like that. But either way, Miller at third, 2 away now for Ezra McNaughton. McNaughton 0 for 3 tonight. Pair of groundouts and a strikeout for him. Big spot here, Lorson, the righty, facing the left-handed slugger. Infield returns to normal depth. Here's the pitch. McNaughton takes a strike. There's that off-speed right at the knees. Might be a splitter, might be a forkball, but either way, it's a good pitch. Here's the 0-1. McNaughton takes outside as Lorson tried to double up. The thing that the key with the splitter is you've got to have big enough hands to be able to throw it effectively. Here's the 1-1 to McNaughton. Swung on and tapped at home plate. This ball is foul. Lorson standing at 5'11". You wouldn't think his hands would be big enough, but he's proven otherwise here. Miller, the leadoff walk, is at third base, but 2 gone in the inning. Flyboys looking to add to this 2-0 lead in the top of the 7th. They've got the right man for the job up there. It's Ezra McNaughton, leading the team with 28 RBIs, averaging 1 per game. 29, waiting out there for him on third. Lorson has gone from the windup. He does so once again. The 1-2. McNaughton takes outside. Fastball running off the plate. See McNaughton recognize it and keep his hands back. Outfielders, especially Khalil Pratt in right, playing very deep. Here's the 2-2. McNaughton hits a fly ball towards the third base side, tailing foul, and this ball is out of play. There's that splitter again from Lorson. That was right on the low outside corner, but McNaughton was able to spoil it. So Bruce Weish, the left fielder, and Goldberg, the third baseman, taking a second to return to their normal posts. A shake from Lorson on the mound. Now he likes the sign. And here's the 2-2. McNaughton takes in the dirt. Great block by Carter behind the plate. Shuffling over, using his body to keep that one from going to the backstop, which reaches about 40 feet behind home plate. So a full count on Ezra McNaughton. Peyton Miller is at third, 2 gone. Cameron Kim, the cleanup man, waits on deck. He started the Flyboys rally in the 6th. Here's the wind and the payoff from Lorson. McNaughton strikes out swinging on a changeup. So Lorson works out of trouble, stranding the leadoff walk at third base. Stretch time here in Danville. Flyboys still leading 2-0. They'll go to their bullpen. Don't know who it's going to be. The Flyboys looking to win a pitcher's duel here tonight on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys go to their bullpen as we begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Book is closed on Freddie Benavides. 6 shutout innings, allowing just 2 hits, walking 1, and striking out 8. He gives way to another lefty, Garrett Makowiak. Makowiak on the mound for the Flyboys, the 8th time he's taken the hill this season. He'll face 4, 5, 6 in the Danville order, beginning with Bruce Weish, the left fielder. Left on right, Weish takes upstairs from Makowiak. Makowiak has allowed 5 earned in 7 2/3. 8 hits, 6 walks, 9 strikeouts. The lefty out of Georgia Southern has contended with a lot of base runners in a short time. Weish hits a line drive toward left. Hunter coming on, diving, and he cannot make the catch. It's off his glove. He keeps it in front of himself, which holds Weish to a single. And that's a dangerous decision there by Hunter to try to dive and make that catch. If that ball gets past him, Weish has at least a double, probably a triple. Tying run is at the plate for Khalil Pratt, hitting just 188 on the season. Struck out 3 times in as many trips yesterday against Burlington. Flyboys looking to turn a double play and get out of trouble here in the bottom of the 7th. Greenville leading 2-0 after Hunter's RBI single in the 6th. Here's the pitch. Pratt takes low from Makowiak. And now Brady Francisco wants to have a word with the Flyboys lefty. After the hard work from Freddie Benavides, 6 strong innings. Flyboys bullpen, I'm sure, looking to lock this down for him. When your starter is nearly perfect, Benavides allowed just 3 base runners. You want to make sure you pay it off by getting him the win. After the mound visit from Francisco, Pratt will step back in. A switch hitter batting right here is Pratt. Weish off of first. Probably not going to be too aggressive with Makowiak, the southpaw up there. Here's the 1-0. Pratt takes low. And it is a dangerous spot to be in now if you're Makowiak. The tying run is at the plate. You're behind in the count 2-0. And Pratt knows that he's more than likely getting a pitch to hit here. Here's the 2-0. Pratt takes in the dirt. That's ball 3. And this is flirting with serious trouble now for Makowiak. Last time Makowiak pitched was against Johnson City 8 days ago. He allowed 3 unearned runs while recording just 4 outs. Flyboys committed a pair of errors in the inning when he pitched. That was in the 7th inning of that game. 3-0. Pratt hits it in the air on the infield. He got under this one. Cameron Kim, the shortstop, comes in just shy of the infield grass. He makes the catch. Pratt, frustrated with himself, I'm sure, swinging on 3-0 and popping out on the infield. Big first out there. Here's Seth Smith now. Strikeout and a flyout for him, 2 times facing Freddie Benavides. Left on left here. Wonder if Makowiak will try to work down and away to the lefty, see if he can get a double play ball and get out of this inning. Weish, the leadoff single, still leading off of first base. Here's the pitch to Smith. Up and in. Fastball about chin high. Not sure if Smith has a beard right now, but got a pretty close shave there. Makowiak 7 pitches, just 2 of them for strikes so far. So if you're Danville, you're thinking, okay, we're going to have to make this guy bring it over the plate. Sometimes you'll see hitters taking until they get a strike. Sometimes you'll see them take until they get 2 strikes in these situations. Here's the 1-0. Smith watches a fastball right down Broadway. That's strike 1. 86 miles an hour right down the pipe. Not a pitch that Makowiak's going to want to throw again, I would think. He's set. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball misses outside. So 2-1 on Smith. Flyboys leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. 7 combined hits between the two sides. Greenville with 4, Danville with 3. Makowiak is set. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball hit the other way toward left. Hunter started back, now sprinting in, makes the catch just above the bill of his red hat, and that's the second out. So now a man at first, 2 away for Gavin Brewer, the Otterbots' designated hitter. Hit less than 2 trips in this game, just 1 for 14, beginning his stint in summer ball. This would be a big, big third out for Makowiak to strand the leadoff single. Weish, about 3 or 4 steps off of first base, held on by Jackson. Here's the pitch. Brewer takes a fastball for a strike on the high outside corner at 87. And if Gavin Brewer wasn't looking for that pitch, probably would not have done much with it. It's one of those where if you're not looking to shoot that the other way, you're better off leaving it alone. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball drifts inside. Makowiak in this situation probably be looking to keep that breaking pitch a little bit lower, because if that leaks out over the plate, it could be trouble. That was about belt high to Brewer, the right-handed hitter. The lefty is set, brings his glove over his head, and comes set at the letters. 1-1 in the dirt, blocked well by Francisco. Sometimes you'll hear some discussion from baseball fans about catchers going down to a knee and having trouble blocking pitches like that, but I think that, 1, if it saves the catcher's legs, and 2, if he can do that job of blocking pitches in the dirt, then let them set up however they want. Catching is difficult. I don't know how Yadier Molina can still walk. 2-1 on Brewer. Makowiak deals. Downstairs, heater missing at the shoe tops, and it's 3-1. Makowiak needing something here, but you got to stay out of the middle of the plate. Lefty is set. Here's the 3-1. Brewer takes a breaking ball low and in, and that's ball 4. First and second, 2 gone for Charlie Carter.
Now batting catcher, Charlie Carter.
Carter hasn't played all that much this season. This is just his 15th game. He entered tonight hitting .216. But he's got a pair of homers. He's driven in 8 for Danville. Played in 37 games across 2 seasons with Oklahoma State. Future teammates with Brady Francisco, the Flyboys catcher. Left on right. Here's the pitch to Carter. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. Carter fans on 84 right there. Brewer at first, Weish to second. Flyboys leading 2-0, but in trouble here in the bottom of the 7th. Carter is 0 for 2. Benavides retired him. A flyout and a strikeout. Here's the 0-1. Carter takes a fastball low. Probably about 6 or 7 inches below the knees there. Big spot in this game. This is the first time Danville has had multiple base runners. Here's the 1-1. Carter hits a high fly ball toward the left field corner. Hunter's got a long way to go. Just shy of the foul pole. He makes the catch. He almost overran that ball. Had to almost reach behind his head, but he makes the catch deep in the left field corner. to retire Carter and end the 7th inning. Garrett Makowiak strands a pair. On to the 8th we go. Flyboys leading 2-0 over the Otterbots on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Top of the 8th here from Danville. The Flyboys leading the Otterbots 2-0. Landon Lorson is back on the hill once again for the Otterbots. Stranded a leadoff walk with a pair of strikeouts last inning. He'll face Cameron Kim, Tyler Inge, and Dylan Jackson. 4, 5, 6 in the Flyboys order. Facing the Danville right-hander, looking to keep Greenville ahead by just a pair. Here's the pitch to Kim. A swing and a foul back to the screen. This was the part of the Flyboys order that started the rally 2 innings ago. Kim had a 1-out single. Tyler Inge followed with a walk, and then Grant Hunter brought them both home with an RBI opposite field single. The 0-1. Kim swings and misses at a slider. And it's 0-2. Good late bite on that slider from Lorson. He's shown a couple really good off-speed pitches here tonight. A splitter, and then that breaking ball. See what he does here on 0-2. Kim takes in the dirt as Lorson doubled up on the slider there. Talked about earlier how the Otterbots team name originated in a combination of suggestions from the fans a few years ago. Lorson steps off, he wants a new baseball. The Flyboys name is a reference to an old airfield at an old base at the site of a baseball stadium where Greenville once played prior to becoming the Flyboys. 1-2 misses in the dirt to Kim. There's that splitter from Lorson. A lot of unique team names in the Appy League. The Bluefield Ridge Runners, representative of the city's long history of railroads and trains. 2-2 to Kim, a soft grounder hit to third. Goldberg up with it. Running throw across, gets Kim by a tick, and he's gone. If you like pitching and defense, this has been the game for you. Flyboys have the game's only 2 runs, 7 combined hits. Neither team has committed an error. Base is empty, 1 away for Tyler Inge. Johnson City Doughboys. Doughboys is a reference to an old nickname of United States military members during World War I. Their logo, the silhouette of a man wearing a military helmet. Inge takes a strike. Off-speed pitch right down the middle from Lorson. Elizabethton and Kingsport tied at 2 in the 7th. Inge takes low and in. Tri-State 15-6 over Pulaski. That is in Pulaski. And by the way, Tri-State has the bases loaded. 1-1. Inge hits a high fly ball towards shallow left center. Weish and Bennett converging, and it's the center fielder Elgin Bennett who squeezes the leather to retire Tyler Inge. Base is empty, 2 gone. Lorson has retired 5 in a row after the leadoff walk in the 7th. Here's Dylan Jackson. You want to talk about a song I haven't heard much since Guitar Hero 3. We'll talk about Living Colour's Cult of Personality. That song is fun to play. I think it's one of those that's actually harder on Guitar Hero than it is in real life. Here's Jackson. Off-speed pitch, misses up and in. And I think I have license to say that. I've played guitar for about 10 years. Another song that's more difficult, 1-0 to Jackson is a fastball for a strike. Another song that's more difficult in Guitar Hero than in real life, I think, is one by Metallica. I feel like in real life it's actually easier to play that song. I'm biased, though. But all opinions are biased. Jackson hits the 1-1, foul past third. Now, I have not played Cruise by Florida Georgia Line on Guitar Hero or in real life, and I don't plan on doing either. It's one thing about being down in Tennessee is that whether you like it or not, you're going to listen to country music. There's some country music I enjoy, others that I try to steer clear of. 1-2 on Dylan Jackson. Here's the pitch. Off the end of the bat towards shallow left. Long run for Weish, but he is there. And he makes the catch to retire Dylan Jackson. 1-2-3 eighth inning for Landon Lorson. He's retired 6 in a row. Bluefield down to its final 6 outs, or excuse me, not Bluefield. Danville down to its final 6 outs, trailing the Flyboys 2-0 here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Bottom of the 8th here from Danville. The Flyboys looking to protect their 2-0 lead. On out of the bullpen comes Evan Kay, the right-hander out of Stony Brook. He's been one of Greenville's most dependable relievers so far this season. 12 and 2/3 innings, allowing just 4 runs in that time frame. 13 hits, 5 walks, 10 strikeouts. Mason Pangborn, left-handed batter, squares to bunt, pulls back and watches ball 1 from Evan Kay. Kay, somebody who doesn't rely a ton on the strikeout. He'll let his defense work. Want to know on Pangborn, here's the pitch. A swing and a tapper hit towards second. Peyton Miller is there. Throw to first is in time, and Pangborn is gone. So a quick first out recorded by Evan Kay here in the bottom of the 8th. Back to the top of the order now for Elgin Bennett. Another left-handed batter. We talked about it at the top, about how the Otterbots have 4 left-handed bats and a switch hitter in tonight's lineup. Bennett, one of those lefties. 0 for 3 so far. Kay fires, and Bennett takes outside. A 2-0 lead courtesy of the RBI single from Grant Hunter back in the 6th. Flyboys jumped on Jack Topolsky, the reliever for Danville. Here's the 1-0. Bennett takes a strike. Fastball at the knees from Kay. Was talking to him a couple of weeks ago when we were in Pulaski, and he told me that the amount of innings he's gotten in Greenville already is more than he's pitched in his college career. 1-1. Bennett checks his swing but holds up. Changeup misses outside from Kay. The experience so crucial for a young pitcher at the college level, just to get comfortable on the mound against tougher competition. Here's the 2-1. Bennett hits a weak ground ball foul toward first. Bennett attending Cal State Bakersfield. Bennett out of Stony Brook in New York. That's about as far apart, the distance between 2 schools of a pitcher and a batter, as you'll see in the Appy League. Here's the 2-2. Bennett takes outside. Kay's fastball missing on the chalk there, and the count is full. Jackson Goldberg waiting on deck. Has one of Danville's 3 hits in this game. Here's the payoff to Bennett. He swings and hits a hard ground ball through into right field. And Bennett has his first hit of the game.
Let's go, Bucks.
Tying run at the plate once again for Danville. And when you're 7.5 games back and 8 under 500, you'll do anything to will your team to a win. Goldberg 1 for 3 in this game. On the season, hitting just .206. See if Evan Kay can roll up an inning-ending double play and send us to the 9th with the Flyboys still ahead 2-0. Bennett off of first, the pitch. Breaking ball hit off the end of the bat, foul. As the Flyboys look to avenge what took place on this field just shy of a year ago now, falling in the Appy League championship game to Danville, 11-5. Kay is set. Here's the 0-1. Low and outside. Off-speed pitch from Kay there. Very well pitched by both sides this game. Freddie Baravitas, the Flyboys starter, 6 shutout innings, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts. Matthew Spada, 5 shutout innings, 2 hits, and 6 strikeouts for him. Danville did not have multiple base runners until the 7th inning, facing Garrett McCowiak. Pickoff move to first. Bennett is back safely. Elgin Bennett, so far for the Otterbots, caught stealing on his only attempt. And at Cal State Bakersfield, he was much more successful, stealing 12 bags on 13 tries. He's got good speed. It's a question of whether or not he wants to use it here. The 1-1. A jam shot hit to third, going to be tough for 2. Inge across to first, a high throw, but Dylan Jackson holds the bag, and that's the second out of the inning. That's one of those where Evan Kay's only mistake was inducing contact that was too weak to turn a double play. Tyler Inge was wise to that. He's a very smart infielder. The throw was a bit high, but Dylan Jackson kept his back foot on the base. Elgin Bennett to second on the play. Here's Garrett Shull now, 0 for 3, but he hit it hard last time. Lined out to Micah Jordan in center. I would guess that ball was off the bat at around 105 miles an hour. He represents the tying run here. 17 RBIs on the season for him. Here's the pitch. Shull takes a breaking ball low from Kay. Danville, a team that averages just 4.4 runs per game, last in the Appy League entering tonight. Shull leads them with 17 RBIs, one of just 3 hitters with double-digit RBIs. 1-0 misses low and outside from Kay. Their OPS entering tonight, 648, also last in the Appy League. But a 2-0 count on Garrett Shull, who is as dangerous as they come. A very strong left-handed hitter. Kay looks at second. That's where Bennett is. The pitch. Swinging a tapper, hit up the third base line. Going to be a very tough play. Tyler Inge has to hold on to it. They've got the runner leading off third, and he's out! Oh, he bluffed the throw to third. Bennett rounded the bag too far. And Tyler Inge flipped it to Cameron Kim, who rotated to cover the base. That is a huge, huge heads-up play by the Flyboys defense, and a mental mistake that Elgin Bennett is going to want to forget. It would have been men on the corners with 2 away for the cleanup man, but instead, Danville walks away with nothing. Score at 5-6 as Bennett is retired after rounding third base too far. And we'll go to the 9th. The Flyboys still leading 2-0. Talked about how Tyler Inge is a smart infielder. That's another example. Here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys leading 2-0 as we begin inning number 9. Right-hander on out of the bullpen is Peyton Huff. He'll face Grant Hunter, TJ Adams, and Peyton Miller. Hunter takes downstairs from Huff. Huff, the reliever out of Southern in Louisiana. It's been very good for Danville. Small sample size, but 9 2/3, just 1 run allowed. Hunter takes low. Huff always goes from the stretch as well. This is his 10th appearance of the season. 8 hits, 8 walks, 14 strikeouts. See if he can pick up where Landon Lorson left off. Lorson retired 6 in a row over the last 2 innings. Huff, the 4th different pitcher used by Danville in this game. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball bends toward the outside corner for a strike. And you go back to the end of the bottom of the 8th inning. Garrett Shull hit a weak grounder toward third. Tyler Inge had to charge almost toward home plate. By the time he picked it up, Shull would have been well safe at first, so Inge held on to it. Here's the 2-1. Hunter waves and misses at a breaking ball, and it's 2-2. The lead runner, Elgin Bennett, moved up from second to third, but as he got to third base, he took a couple steps around the bag. Just lazing off there enough, Tyler Inge turned around, flipped it to Cameron Kim, the shortstop who was covering third base. Hunter hits a ground ball to second. Pangborn is up with it. Throw to first is in time. Leadoff man is gone here in the top of the 9th. Kim tagged out Bennett, who rounded third base somewhat inexplicably there because that's a ground ball on the infield. Unless Inge makes the throw, you have no chance of scoring. The tying run would have been on base for the cleanup man, but Bennett was thrown out by Inge, Cameron Kim, the one who applied the tag, and the Flyboys got out of serious trouble. TJ Adams stepping in. He's reached twice in 3 trips in this game. He and Peyton Miller have done a lot of the heavy lifting offensively. First pitch, Adams fouls it back. Adams a pair of walks, though he hasn't scored either time. But Peyton Miller on deck. 2 for 2, a walk and a pair of singles from the number 9 spot. 0-1 on Adams. The kick and the pitch. Breaking ball misses in the dirt. Pitch black skies now here in Danville. Said it after the third or fourth inning. This felt like a pitcher's duel. The Flyboys have been in a few of these this season. Last time they were in one was this past Sunday. They couldn't close it out. 1-1 to Adams, fouled back. That was against the Bluefield Ridge Runners. The rubber match of a 3-game series. They got close, but close didn't cut it. Flyboys surrendered a 2-1 lead with a 3-run double from Ryan Nedved in the top of the 7th. 1-2. Adams takes low and away. I wonder if anybody's caught those references. I made a few to different songs they've played on the PA. It's one of Van Halen's Ain't Talking About Love that was played during a mound meeting. That one, 98 Braves by Morgan Wallen. I feel like somebody had to catch those, right? Here's another 2-2 to Adams. Breaking ball wrapped to third. Goldberg waits on it, bobbles, throws to first. Safe. A fielding error for Jackson Goldberg there. Adams hustling down the first base line right there. That's a tough one for Goldberg. You hear it talked about by coaches sometimes how you want to charge those slow ground balls. Goldberg waited on it and just couldn't field it cleanly there. Here's Peyton Miller now, a one-out base runner for Greenville as the Flyboys look to extend their 2-0 lead. Miller, again, has reached all 3 times. And this would be a big insurance run for the Flyboys. First pitch, Miller squares to bunt, but pops it foul out of play. That was a high fastball, which is a tough pitch to bunt. It's hard to keep the bat level and get it up in time. That was a 91-mile-per-hour fastball from Peyton Huff. Adams leading off of first base. That is the first error of the game committed by either team tonight. Here's the 0-1. Miller chases a high fastball, and it's 0-2. Flyboys, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for them. And for Danville, no runs on 4 hits and an error. The Otterbots have had scoring chances in each of the last 2 innings, but failed to cash in. That's why the insurance is so important here for Greenville. 2 runs is far from insurmountable. 0-2. Miller strikes out swinging. Chase the outside fastball there. Man at first, 2 away for the top of the order. Here's Micah Jordan once again. 0 for 4 here tonight. Batting average now below 250. I said this for Brady Francisco and it worked, so I'm going to keep saying it because I think it works. Statistically, Micah Jordan is due for a hit here, but you don't play the games on paper. See, now I've covered both sides of the coin. Adams off of first. A throw over there. Half-hearted. He's in standing. Jordan looking to rein in his plate discipline a little bit. He's been chasing a lot tonight. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. It's up and in. Throw down to second. The tag. Adams is safe. The throw beat him. The tag did not. The shortstop, Mason Pangborn, had to go to his backhand to field that one. And by the time he swiped the tag over, Adams already had his foot on the base. So 1-0 on Jordan as Adams steals his 7th base on 8 tries this season. Insurance run in scoring position. Jordan's got home run power. He homered at Elizabethton a couple days ago. Here's the 1-0. Jordan chases way outside. There's that slider from Peyton Huff. That one ended up in the other batter's box. But Jordan selling out to the fastball, I think. Which is okay. I'd rather a hitter not get cheated at the plate. But at the same time, that's a pitcher's pitch to swing on. Here's the pitch. Huff tried to double up. Jordan took it that time, and it's 2-1. And that's what you want to see from a young hitter. After making a tough swing decision, you recognize the pitch the second time and you're able to lay off. That's what it's all about in the Appy League, is just learning, gaining experience and knowledge. Adams dancing off second, a 2-1. Jordan chases a breaking ball. That one was closer to the zone when it started out. Ended up just off the plate away and below the knees. 2-2. Jordan looking to avoid going 0 for 5. Huff has delivered pretty much everything in this at-bat on the outside part of the zone to the right-handed hitting Jordan. Here's the 2-2. Jordan takes in the dirt. Another great block by Charlie Carter. Sliding over there to knock down that 58-foot slider. Full count on Micah Jordan. Brady Francisco would be next if Jordan can reach. It would put 2 on for Francisco. Huff steps off before the pitch. 3-0 even feels a lot safer than 2-0 the way this game has played out. You feel like the Otterbots offenses do. 3-2 on Micah Jordan. Here's the pitch. Adams goes. It's in the dirt. It gets away. Adams pulls up. Now he's thinking about scoring, but slams on the brakes. So Adams steals third. Jordan walks. A good job by him of laying off that off speed. So now men on the corners for Brady Francisco. Before he hits, the Danville pitching coach Steve Gomez comes out once again. Second time we've seen him in this game. Francisco 0 for 3 with the walk in this game. But in a big spot here. Men on the corners, 2 gone in the top of the 9th. The Flyboys leading Danville 2-0. And if Francisco can get one into the outfield gap, you're talking about the Flyboys potentially doubling their lead. Jordan has great speed. He'll be off on contact. I don't know why they didn't give Adams a credit for a stolen base there. He took off before the pitch. Home scorer, I guess. But either way, mound meeting wraps up. Here's Francisco. Had a 2-run double late in the Flyboys' lone game at Elizabethton earlier this week. See if he can find the gap once again. Jordan off of first. He's got a good lead. He goes. The pitch low and in. No throw from Charlie Carter. I don't know that a good throw would have gotten Micah Jordan there. He's only been thrown out once this season, stealing. That might be scored defensive indifference. Flyboys have second and third now, 2 gone. 1-0 on Francisco. Huff fires. A swing and a line drive toward left field. That ball is down. 1 run scores. Micah Jordan sprinting home. Brady Francisco delivers late once again. He doubles the Flyboys' lead. It is 4-0 here in the top of the 9th. And how big is that defensive play made by the Flyboys in the bottom of the 8th now? Tagging out Elgin Bennett at third base to get out of trouble, and then capitalizing in the next half inning, a 2-run single from Brady Francisco. RBIs number 10 and 11 for him this season. Here's Ezra McNaughton now. First pitch, fouled off into the screen behind home plate. The scorer didn't determine defensive indifference or a stolen base as Jordan advanced to second. I would say he ran before the pitch and he got there, so that counts as a stolen base. 16 for 17. McNaughton takes up and in, and it's 1-1. We've seen home scorers over the last couple days not doing the Flyboys any favors in the stat column. There was a missed fly ball in left that never touched the glove of the left fielder in Elizabethton. Ezra McNaughton was not credited with a hit, which I don't understand. Here's the 1-1. McNaughton takes up and away. If I was a hitter, I'd be kind of upset about that, because I'm 95.6% sure that if the ball doesn't touch the fielder's glove, it can't be scored an error. I might be wrong, but I feel like I'm not. And usually my gut is right. A lot of times it tells me that I'm hungry. It's usually right then. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball. A pitcher-friendly strike. That was off the plate away, but Cade Williamson liked it, and it's 2-2. Brady Francisco with another late RBI for the Flyboys. He started to round into form at the plate as well. Here's the 2-2. McNaughton takes inside. Fastball about hip high off the plate. So now a full count, 2 outs. Brady Francisco will go on the pitch. McNaughton, hitless in 4 trips. You know he wants to square one up. Huff up to 25 pitches in this inning. The right-hander is set. Here's the payoff. Breaking ball and a half-hearted swing from McNaughton. He's gone. But the Flyboys double their lead on the 2-run single from Francisco. And as we go to the bottom of the 9th, Greenville 4, Danville 0 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Last chance for Danville here in the bottom of inning number 9. The Flyboys leading the Otterbots 4-0, doubling their lead on a 2-run single from catcher Brady Francisco. And it's Keenan Mork on out of the bullpen to get the final 3 outs in this one. He'll face Bruce Weish, Khalil Pratt, and Seth Smith. 4, 5, 6 in the Otterbots order, set to square off against the right-handed reliever. Mork began his collegiate career at Notre Dame. 9 innings, 7 hits, 8 earned, 7 walks and 11 strikeouts. He's got a save this season, though he did surrender the lead in the top of the 7th inning this past Sunday against Bluefield. He'll look to keep things a little cleaner. He's got a bigger lead to work with this time around. Flyboys leading 4-0. Bruce Weish takes inside. Weish singled to lead off the 7th. That was against Garrett McCowiak. Danville had 2 on, could not push a man across. Here's the 1-0. Weish takes a strike. Fastball at the knees on the outside part of the plate. But for Mork, you're just looking for him to attack the zone here. 1-1. Weish swings through a breaking ball. His foul tipped at home plate, but it's strike 2. We're talking about that insurance that the Flyboys got from Brady Francisco. Now you lead by 4 instead of just 2. Time called at home plate by Bruce Weish, the batter, before the 1-2 pitch. But it's so big for the Flyboys to double their lead before Mork took the mound here in the 9th. Now the 1-2. Weish takes outside. But Danville struggling offensively once again here this evening. The Otterbots just 6 hits in their last 2 games. 2-2 fouled back. Good job by Weish of staying alive here. Seeing a few pitches from Keenan Mork, but the Otterbots again losing 11-1 yesterday, I should say. That was a day game at Burlington in 7 innings. Here's another 2-2 from Mork. Slider misses in the dirt. Keenan Mork has a funky arm slot from the right side. He kind of drops down, really sits on his back leg, and the arm is at a low 3/4 arm slot. Not quite sidearm, but it's a unique look for the hitter. Sometimes, though, the lower the arm slot, the harder it is for the pitcher to control. 3-2 on Weish. Here's the pitch. Pulled foul past third. That fastball ran in on the hands of Weish. You figure this is Keenan Mork's inning. Flyboys leading 4-0 here in the bottom of inning number 9. Looking to beat Danville for the 4th consecutive time this season. Breaking ball fouled away. Weish stays alive again. The next pitch here will be the 9th of this at-bat. Bruce Weish doing a great job, even if he doesn't reach, running up Keenan Mork's pitch count and making him empty his arsenal. We'll try the payoff one more time. Here it comes. Weish takes strike 3. Fastball on the low outside corner from Keenan Mork. That one right at 92 miles per hour. We've seen that one called here tonight. Weish is sent packing. Here's Khalil Pratt now. 0 for his last 5, dating back to yesterday against Burlington. But his on-base percentage entering tonight, .379. And a big part of that, here's the pitch. He swings and hits a sharp line drive into center field. went headhunting there for Keenan Mork, the pitcher. Had to duck out of the way there. It's a one-out single for Khalil Pratt. Pratt leads the team in hit by pitches, but he put good wood on that one. Here's Seth Smith now. Flyboys leading 4-0, one away, bottom of the ninth. So that base runner, not the worst thing for Keenan Mork, because the Flyboys lead by 4. Now, if they didn't get that insurance, tying run would be at the plate, but the tying run is still in the dugout for Danville. Smith is 0 for 3. Left-handed batter facing the righty Mork. Here's the pitch. Swinging a broken bat pop-up, shallow left center. Cameron Kim has a beat on it, and he makes the catch, drifting into the shallow outfield for the second out. That was a slider from Keenan Mork that really got in on the hands of the left-handed hitter Smith. You could hear the bat nearly break in two. I don't think that lumber is going to be used for anything but firewood ever again. Last chance for the Otterbots is Gavin Brewer. 0 for 2 with a walk in this game. The Flyboys have pitched this one very well. Began with 6 shutout innings from the starter, Freddie Baravitas. Garrett McCowiak and Evan Kay both flirted with trouble, but got the outs when they needed to. Righty. Here's the pitch to Brewer. A breaking ball that misses low and away. Khalil Pratt is 5 for 5 stealing bases this season, but again, with Danville trailing by 4, I cannot imagine that they would start the runner here. And if they do, Brady Francisco's not going to throw. He'll say, hey, you take second base, we'll get the batter. 1-0 on Brewer. Mork sets at the belt. Here's the pitch. Brewer fouls it back. I think we would have had a chance to make a play on that one in the booth. It's 1-1. Flyboys looking for their 17th win of the season. Bristol is now leading Burlington 9-6 at the stretch. The Stateliners scored 7 times in the 5th inning to take the lead. Burlington has the most wins in the league with 18. 1-1. Brewer takes a fastball on the outside corner. That's strike 2. That's in the exact same spot that Cade Williamson rung up Bruce Weish. So Brewer is going to have to protect if Mork finds that location again. If the umpire calls it consistently, it's the hitter's job to adjust. Otterbots down to their last strike. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive through into right field for a base hit. Brewer protected the outside part of the plate very well right there. Mork tried to hit that spot again, but that fastball was a little bit higher in the zone, and Brewer went with it. Second hit of the inning for the Otterbots. Now here's Charlie Carter. Carter has not reached. He's 0 for 3, a strikeout and a pair of flyouts for him. He made it interesting last inning, but Grant Hunter was able to make the catch deep in the left field corner. Now the tying run is on deck for Danville. First and second, 2 gone. Flyboys leading 4-0 in the ninth. Righty, here's the pitch. Carter takes a slider for a strike. That's the advantage for the pitcher in a spot like this. Most of these batters facing a reliever like this for the first time, so Mork steals a strike with the slider there. The right-hander sets. Here's the 0-1. Carter takes outside. Throw behind the runner at first. They've got him hung up with nowhere to go. He's in a rundown. The tag from Miller is in time, and the Flyboys win on a pickoff from Brady Francisco to Dylan Jackson at first, and Peyton Miller tags out Gavin Brewer between first and second to end the game. The Chicago Cubs used to do that with David Ross behind the plate and Anthony Rizzo at first base. That time, Francisco, with men on first and second, threw behind the trail runner. Brewer had no choice but to try to get to second, and from then on, it was routine for the Flyboys defense, as they don't even give Charlie Carter a chance to swing the bat, winning this game 4-0. Big swings of the bat from Grant Hunter and Brady Francisco, a pair of RBI singles. Freddie Baravitas, the MVP on the mound, 6 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts. Keenan Mork nails it down with some help from his battery mate, Brady Francisco. Flyboys Winners here tonight, 4-0. They've won 4 consecutive over the Otterbots dating back to opening weekend. Greenville is now 17-11 on the season. The Otterbots drop to 10-19. The Flyboys will remain in first place in the West heading into Friday.